The Not Too Young to Lead initiative seeks to energize the youth population of Nigeria to engage and identify with partisan politics. The stated mission is to place young people at the forefront of development through civic participation, livelihood and employment, and campaign against social vices. Right now, we're being joined by Elvis Akpobi, who is Executive Director of the Not Too Young to Lead initiative, for a bit more clarity on this. Elvis, it's good to have you with us. Now, straight to it, what is the main objective of this movement? Are you taking a cue from the federal government's Not Too Young to Run proposal or bill, as it were?
Yes, I am. I believe that as young Nigerians, the future of Nigeria lies in our hands, and we cannot be complacent and maybe mind our business when it has to do with how our country, Nigeria, will look like in the nearest future. So our value propositions as change makers and youth advocates is to, amplify the muted voices of other young Nigerians to take charge and be on the table where critical decisions about the future of Nigeria will be taken.
Now, I know some of your objectives in Not Too Young to Lead is to inspire moral ethics among youth and campaign against social vices. But I'd really like to know how you hope to achieve this now that politics in Nigeria is heavily monetized and even the average Nigerian is hoping to have a share of the national cake.
It's quite, for me, I believe this is the worst time to be in Nigeria because it seems like what used to be abnormal becomes normal, and there's this money back politics going on at the moment. But I believe that we can't bend Nigeria into the shape we want, but we can bend the slice of it. And despite we keep saying money, the fact remains that the highest office in the land today is that of the citizens, and young people make 70% of that of the citizens. So as young people, if we bury the ashes, look through the lines of the difference between ethnicity, religion, and even party politics, I think we'll get it right as young Nigerians.
Indeed,
so
Elvis.
I don't think, in as much as money is an hiccup,
Go ahead.
as much as money is the hiccup for us young Nigerians, but like people like me, the advocacy made me an SA youth development. I believe that if you want to change something in a system, you have to be in it. You can't change a system from outside the system. You have to be in it. And my aim is to bring in, to speak on behalf of more young persons, to be on the table where critical decisions about our future will be made. And I think back in Delta State, we're already having that feel of young persons being in governance. And what I keep saying, every platform I find myself, is the actions and inactions of young people who are privileged to be elected, to be appointed, we either open doors or shut doors of opportunities for other young persons.
Indeed, Elvis. Now, critics say the current crop of politicians have failed Nigerians in all aspects. But are the young any better when it comes to aspiration to lead the country?
I wouldn't say we are better, but let's not forget that our environment defines us. If we inspire a better society, if we care for each other, if we, create opportunities, build the ladder of social mobility for each and every one of us, I'm not sure we'll have internet fraud on the rise. I'm not sure we'll have people seeing every opportunity, mostly during electioneering, as an opportunity to make money, maybe because they are not sure of the next opportunity they will make money again. So for me, in as much as we keep saying that sometimes there are sometimes when I go on some platforms and advocate for young people, they'll start using some persons, young persons who the masses feel didn't do well as a comparison. But I always tell people that you don't throw away a crate of eggs just because one egg is spoiled. There are other good eggs, and people should stop using young people who didn't do properly, who are failed, to compare or shut doors of opportunities for other young people. Because as far as I'm concerned, there are young Nigerians who are willing to change the dynamics of this country. Nigerians are not bad people. Young Nigerians are not bad people. It's just the environment. There's this survivor of the fittest currently happening in Nigeria, and I just need to, be comfortable. I use myself as an example. I can't compromise on the future of young people as far as Nigeria is concerned. That doesn't mean sometimes I don't sit on the fence, but the fact remains that if you want to, if you're in the forest, you want to, get a monkey, you have to behave like a monkey. So sometimes we just act a fool and act like we don't know what is happening. But the fact remains that there are young Nigerians who are ready. Money is not the hiccup. All we need is just to unite and, do the right thing.
Now, there is this belief that the political elites, or should I say the older politicians, are not willing, to give up power so easily to the youth, and that we must appeal to these politicians or these so-called owners of Nigerians, to allow youths to get involved in politics. What's your take on this? And if it's true, how do we then begin to appeal to these politicians to let the youths get involved?
I still believe that power is not given, power is taken. Where I find myself today, I'm sure if I don't bring value to the government of Delta State, I'm not sure I'll be here. The problem we have with today with young Nigerians, we always point at the problems without wanting to be the solutions. Do you get these old genocrats? I call them. They will not leave the table because they've made politics a career. But if we young persons, if we can come together like the way we did during the NSAS, I'm sure we'll get it right as Nigerians. I would not want to mention any candidate on this platform, but for instance, I saw people clamoring for a particular candidate, if not for interest and other things. If young persons come together and say, this is what we want, we'll get it right. But we're getting it right gradually. Back in Delta State, most of the primaries that was conducted, the House of Assembly members were overwhelmed with young persons with character and capacity. And I'm very, very sure they will do the right thing.
Very good, Elvis. Now, realistically, wouldn't it be advisable to start from the bottom up and be more engaged in grassroots democracy before aspiring for presidential positions from an experience point of view? After all, even when we go to the United States, Barack Obama was senator before he became president. But what you have today in Nigeria, perhaps taking a cue of the not too young to run a bill, is people just coming up and say, okay, fine, we want to be president, but you don't know much about their background. They're youths, all right, but what do you make of that scenario?
I agree with you on that because you can't affect people if you don't know their pulse, if you don't feel their pulse. For me, I'm now a privileged SAU to the governor of Delta State. I've learned a lot. Ordinarily, if I just wake up tomorrow and I say I want to be a House of Assembly member, I'm sure I will learn on the ropes within 4 years. But what the government have exposed me to, the strength and other experience I've gotten will help me in my next phase. So always, in the course of our advocacy, we always urge young Nigerians to, go back to the roots. Firstly, you can't tell me, each time we keep complaining that maybe our governors are not doing well or our house members are not doing well, when you are not even in sync with the people, your immediate community, the people you want to lead, you're not in sync with them, you don't know their plight. And if you don't know the plight of people, you can't affect them. So when I see young persons just jumping up out of the blues and be like, I want to be the president, fine. The advocacy is because we always want to borrow a leaf from other foreign countries. They will say the Ukrainian president is young and all that. But I'm sure it started from somewhere. So I always urge every young person who want to, change the dynamics of this country, you need to start from your roots. Maybe a councillor, a local government chairman, and you metamorphose. And, today, my governor started from the grassroots. Today is a governor and is doing very, very well. So I think other young persons should borrow a leaf from that.
Now, just like you, a lot of civil society organizations are campaigning for youths to get involved in politics. They've been trying to educate people to get their PVCs, to go out and vote. But some would argue that it's not just about the youths being told to vote, but to vote intentionally, to vote right. Now, what are some of those issues that should be put into consideration before the youths do actually cast their votes?
There's this stereotype that our votes don't count. Is a lie. When people don't show up to vote, that is when people rig elections. But when people show up, mostly young persons, when they show up to vote, it's always difficult to rig election. And the things we make a priority in Nigeria today as young people are not the things we should be making a priority. You see, during the election, I can't even, sometimes when I engage some young persons, I'm like, do you have a PVC? They'll be like, no, I don't have. I'll be like, why? They say, our vote doesn't count. I said, it's a lie. Whoever tells you your vote won't count is a lie. But when you say votes of young people won't count, to me, I feel it's just a fugazi, and it's not what is obtainable in Nigeria. Young Nigerians are tired of the bleakness. We're tired of complaining. We're tired of writing on social media. We're tired of the hegemony we're faced with in this country. But if young Nigerians get involved ahead of mostly this next election, I think the dynamics will change. What Nigeria needs today is not all about being on the political left or on the political right. It has to do with a lot of people who know that incompetence dressed up as strategy is still very, very incompetent and still totally unacceptable. So I want to advise every young Nigeria listening to me at the moment that your PVC is your power. It's not for us, it's for the generation coming behind, because we cannot be escaping Nigeria for greener pastures when the land is greener here, if only we elect the right people to be on that table where critical decisions about our future will be made.
Indeed, Elvis, still talking about electing the right people, but still talking about youth participation in politics. What will be the narrative, you think, in the next 5 to 10 years? Of course, there will be more advocacy from people like you as well, but can you just give us a projection, what you think will happen?
What I believe and I think will happen is we're already getting our way because we're tired as young Nigerians. We're tired of the vast inequality, the poverty, and all that. If you agree with me, the awareness is betting a lot of young candidacy, despite we're still feeling bleakness from, I call them inferiority complex leaders that are scared of this young man. I face it often. This young man seems very, very intelligent and has capacity. If we give him the privilege to have more power, it will be a problem to us. But we cannot keep mum because a handful of people see us as threat. So what I'm saying is every young person who is advocating, who wants a better Nigeria, because for me, I just have one passport, which is the green passport, and that passport is the emblem. It's not for us, like I always say, it's for the generation behind us. Every young person that believes in the future of this country in the next, let's say, a decade, this is the time. 2023 offers us another opportunity to decide what will happen in the next decade. So it's not about, vote buying and all that things, but if we all get involved, if we are very, very intentional with it, we'll make Nigeria right, because we'll keep complaining that Nigeria is not working well, this is this. Some people will tell you Nigeria is a cruise. I don't believe in it. Some people will tell you it's better escaping Nigeria, leaving the shores of this country. For me, I'm not leaving this country, because should everybody leave this country, nobody will fix Nigeria. We all make up Nigeria. And most times, we will pray for better leaders. We'll forget to say that. We'll forget that the citizens, the people that are leading us today, they didn't fall from the sky. They were once citizens before they became leaders. And it's the mindset they have, the environment they grew from, that is what they will put on the table, where decisions and policies that will either make Nigeria or man Nigeria be made.
Well, Elvis Akpobi, Executive Director of the Not Too Young to Lead initiative, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.